President of the United States?
Tim, tomorrow I'll be filing papers to launch an exploratory committee, and yes, I'll be out there.
Why?
I think America needs positive, optimistic leadership to kind of turn this country around, to see a revival of our national soul, and to reclaim a sense of the greatness of this country that we love.
That was nearly 8 years ago when a little bit younger Mike Huckabee declared he would enter the presidential field on Meet the Press. Now, he won the Iowa caucus that year, finished second in delegates to eventual Republican nominee John McCain. What will Huckabee 2.0 look like this next Tuesday when he makes some sort of announcement in Hope, Arkansas? Joining me to discuss is Alice Stewart. She's a spokesperson for Mike Huckabee. Thank you so much for being here and welcome.
Great to be here, Roby. I think we're all much younger and less gray hair 7 years ago.
I have a little bit more gray hair around my temples than I did 8 years ago, too. So, all right, so 10 a.m. Tuesday morning, Hope, Arkansas, Governor Mike Huckabee, former Governor Mike Huckabee, is going to say what to the world? He
is going to say to the world, definitively, without a doubt, his decision on whether or not he will run for president.
And what will that decision be? I mean, it's kind of almost a foregone conclusion that with this much hype, with a video coming out, with national media coming to Arkansas, with national media credentials, Arkansas media all over the place, he might get run out of town on a railroad if he says, I'm not running on Tuesday.
I will tell you this, Roby, that I can guarantee you that on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, he will announce his decision. And I can't steal his thunder, but I can tell you if you have time, it would be certainly worth a trip to Hope.
So the odds would be 50-50 or 99.99999 to 0.000001. What would put a number on it for me there?
I'm not a betting woman, but I can tell you if you look at the fact he's going to be in Hope, Arkansas, making a major announcement Tuesday, he's going to New York to do some media. The next day he's in Iowa and then on to South Carolina. That's hardly the schedule of someone running for mayor of Hope, Arkansas.
So if I were to say maybe that I had a button and a sign that might get distributed that day, if I just happened to have one like right down here under the desk, if I were to pull that out, would you confirm for me that it would be one way or the other? I don't have that, by the way, but if I did, would you?
I will confirm that he's going to tell you whether or not you should have that button or placard on Tuesday morning.
All right, the video that you guys rolled out on Friday morning, which sounded very presidential, I might add, so you can confirm or deny that if you want to. It includes some allusions to running against the Clinton machine from his time in politics here in Arkansas. That, I think, probably plays pretty well in the state of Arkansas, where it's easy to kind of run a campaign in terms of small scale. But does it really work on the national stage, do you think?
It certainly does. And the video itself, the reason for it was it's an introduction video for his announcement. We'll see that Tuesday morning. It will introduce him, and it outlines some of the key issues of the campaign, which are that of all of the 2016 candidates, Governor Huckabee is the only one that knows what it takes to take on the Clinton machine. It's inevitable. By all appearances, Hillary Clinton will be the Democratic nominee, and the Republican Party must have someone that understands what it takes to take on Hillary Clinton. Governor Huckabee, every time he ran for office here, the long arm of the Clinton machine came out in full force and he defeated them. And another thing you recall, years ago, this wasn't the Arkansas Democratic Party, it was the Arkansas Clinton Party, and people were loyal to them. And as they moved on, the Democratic Party also has moved on, and in large part because Governor Huckabee defeated the Clinton machine, took office as governor during a 90% Democrat-led legislature, and was able to get things done. And he blazed a trail for the Republican Party, which now we see we have the entire congressional delegation Republicans and a Republican leadership in the legislature. And it's in large part due to the footprint that Governor Huckabee started.
This would imply that your boss, Mike Huckabee, is running for president. All of the things that you just said.
All right, I'll go ahead and break down. He is definitely going to announce his decision.
All right, in the video too, he says, I'll protect Social Security and Medicare. I'll never rob seniors of what our government promised them. I'll lead with moral clarity in a dangerous world. I'll keep all the options on the table to deal with the evil forces of radical Islam. How does he do that if he's not running for president?
Well, those are what he's saying there is that these are key issues if he were to say on Tuesday that he is running. And these are important priorities that he ran on. Same issues back in 2008, and these are important. One of the things that's very critical, especially in this time in our nation, is reaffirming America as the great superpower. And a lot of that is having leadership, leading from the front, not from behind, like we currently have with the current leadership. And all of these, protecting Social Security and Medicaid and strengthening foreign policy, getting back on a strong economic front. Those are important priorities for Governor Huckabee. Regardless of what his decision is on Tuesday, he'll fight for those issues.
So 8 years ago, when he was short on name ID and definitely short on money, hypothetically speaking, if he were to get into the race on Tuesday and announce that he's going to run for president, how's it going to be different this time?
Those two factors are critical. The name ID is a big factor. Folks have seen him over the last 8 years on every Saturday night. He came into their home on his Fox television show. He has traveled around the country and the world speaking. He's rolled out some books. But one of the key factors that will be extremely helpful, certainly the name ID, it's much more advantageous and a little easier for him to raise money because of that. But another key factor, recent polls consistently and steady show him at the top or in the top tier in terms of likability and favorability. And you know these poll crosstabs. Likability and favorability is critical. Any candidate, you can have the best resume out there and be strong on all the issues. However, if the voters don't like you, they're not going to get up and go vote for you. And we've seen that in the last 2 cycles. Governor Huckabee is someone that people realize he understands what's going on, what their needs are in terms of putting food on the table and gas in the tank, and they like him. So the name ID, the fundraising benefits, as well as favorability, those are key factors.
I'm not a gambling man either, but I'm going to gamble and say he's going to get in on next Tuesday. She's Alice Stewart with the Huckabee Organization. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Robbie. Appreciate you.